So I built this chicken coop probably 9-10 years ago. It was actually on another part of my property, but I wanted to move it up closer to the house so we didn't have to walk as far when in the winter and stuff. So it's a hassle sometimes getting home to put your chickens up. So I bought an automatic door by Omlet. It was around $200 on Amazon. I'll post a link when I get this installed, but I'm going to open this up, install it today, and give my first impressions and a sort of quick review. Alright, before I go any further with filling in my hole there, I want to go ahead and open this up. That way I can get some measurements of how big I need my opening. It's just a cardboard box with a cardboard tray in it. So there's the door, little cardboard inset for the controls. It has a light sensor on it. Comes with a whole hardware kit. Some special stainless bolts with a gear mechanism. I don't know what that is yet. But there's two of them. So here is the control unit. I don't see an easy way to change the batteries without pulling this face off, but I'll look at the instructions here in a minute to see what I need to do. And then here's the unit itself. So there's your door. Has the gears right there. That gear sits in there, I guess, and then it just slides back and forth. So I mean, it's okay construction. I mean, it's pretty rigid, has a little bit of flex to it, but once you screw it to the wall, it should be fine. So it has a safety sensor. So I guess if something is up against this sensor right here, it won't. So if the door's closing and it trips that sensor, then it'll open back up. So, but I'm going to set this up there and kind of see how big I'm going to need my hole. So I'm thinking the hole I have already is probably going to be about perfect. So I'm going to fill this in with some leftover wood I have, and then we'll make the hole for this. The instruction booklet that this comes with, it's pretty thick, but they do have a YouTube how to install. So if you open up the instruction manual, it is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different languages. So it shows you, your normal part and how to install it on different types. But we've already unboxed it. Kind of shows you a breakdown of all the different parts on that. Shows you how to start off. You'll need 4 double A batteries. So here's the start of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this in. So I'm going to have to kind of do this a little bit backwards. I'm actually going to install it first, and then I'm going to come back and take it off because I need to seal all this and I don't want to have to wait for the silicone to dry. And then once I do final install, I'll silicone the top and the sides so that any rain won't come down and get in. But like I showed before, comes with your controller. It shows you everything on how to program it in the programming. Different bag of accessories to mount it in different areas. And it comes with some screws, an alignment key, and the gear that does it. So the first thing it says is actually step number 4, because I've already taken it out of the packaging. So we want to take these 2 screws out. And it says be careful of the wiring because you don't want to tear it up. But if you can see down in there, it's got another connector, so just got to be careful with it. The next step is to install the gear. So there's the gear. It is made out of metal. So at the very top of this is a shaft that the gear goes onto. Now it's like a half moon, and I don't know if I can get that to focus or not, but you can see it only goes on one way. On the instructions, it shows that the gear needs to go all the way down, just not at the very top. So make sure you hear it go all the way down or see it go all the way down. So this is a locking key, I guess. So it's just a plastic little piece. It shows that once you have that in, this actually slips into a slot, which there's a slot right there at the top, which locks that gear into place so it cannot move. We'll reinstall these screws. And if you're using a power drill, be very careful on how tight you do this, because this is plastic. But there's what it looks like totally installed. Then I will go on to my next page, which it tells you how to put on the door. So let me grab the door. Here's the door. And it just sits in there. But on the backside, there's an open rail. So if you lay this on something flat, and that's what these pieces were for. So there's little through bolt holes that line up to the through bolt holes on this. So let me look and see if there's a right way or wrong way. So there's a triangle in here that matches up to a triangle inside. So I drop that one in, and then there's 2 stainless screws that just go into there. And I'll do the same thing for the top. Two more screws. Be careful when you're screwing them in. So now it's installed and the door won't fall off. I got it all nice and muddy already. So then it kind of tells you how to install it on your wood, non-mesh. It tells you which page to go to. So I'm going to be at wood, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to page 34. It shows you want to have it even with your wood, not over the wood like that. It shows you to mark your holes and drill a 7mm or a 0.28 inch screw, and they go through a through bolt. It goes through a through bolt that goes into the wood, and then you just tighten it up. So that really won't work for how I'm installing it here, because I have a lot thicker wood construction. So I might just have to use screws and washers, because this is the screws that it wants. And where my 2x4s are thicker than what I have, that really won't work. I mean, it'll work for one of the holes, but it will not work for the other holes. So I'm going to have to go get some washers. That way I can do this. But hold on, they have shorter ones. They have shorter ones that screw into this. So what I can do is I can mark my holes and then screw these on and then screw into here. So I want to try that and see how that works. That way I'm using more stainless steel and not anything that's going to rust out. So basically I'm just making a mark with these screws, and I'll get one of them on, and then I can align the others correctly. Alright, I got all my holes drilled. So what I'm going to do is get a couple of these screws started by hand. I'm going to put my level on. That way she stays perfect and I am right in between the bubble. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up. And there we go, we can go on to the next step. So, I guess I lost my place. I guess I need to find out where the programming part of it is now. Alright, so I knew this was going to be like this, but it kind of upsets me because they should make it easier to get in and out of this. So you have to take off all 4 screws just to change the batteries. So, I mean, that's... I think I know why they did it, because this probably has a rubber seal. So that it's waterproof. But it is frustrating that you have to bring a screwdriver out instead of just sliding something open or something like that. So it's got a really thick rubber gasket in it that is recessed, and then it has a secondary for right here. So this had other things that you could use with it, for a heater, 12-volt light, but I opted for the one that was just the door because I don't have electric out here, and from what I read, this will last 6 months if it's just door, but if you have a heater or a light, it cuts it down like by 3 months. So that's why I opted for that. So I'm going to go get some batteries and then we'll start programming this. I got my Amazon basic batteries. They work really well. I get them through my subscribe and save. The only thing I wish about this is I wish they would sell like different length cords, because I don't need a cord that's this long, because I'm literally going to mount it. Well, I'll probably mount it up higher, but now that I got such a long cord, but I want to take it up and around because it does have a photovoltaic panel in it, so it can run dusk to dawn. So I'm going to go ahead and see where I can mount this at. So it has a little French cleat style, so you can mount it, and it just slides into these two plastic pieces right here. So I'm going to see where this cord gets me, and then I will go ahead and set that up to be mounted. So got my batteries put in, and there is a plug for the door, a plug for the heater and the coupe light, and then it kind of looks like you can supply 12-volt power to it and run a heater off of it too. So I'm going to look into that more and see what else I can find, because I didn't see anything when I looked for this, but I didn't see another option other than the coupe light. So basically all you have to do is take this off, because it has little cutouts so that your cord will not pull out. So on the back side it has little slots for your cord to go up and in. So let me look on here and see if it says to tie a knot in it or whatever else, because I'm going to actually use some wire connectors I have to keep this wire from being loose. So it really doesn't show you hooking this up at all from what I'm seeing. So, I mean, it's just straightforward. It only has one place to go and only one way to plug in. So the little clip goes to the top, and then you reinstall your piece that holds the cord in place. So just kind of hold it, and then it just goes right there. So now that I got this on here, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it onto the base plate. I just clicked this on. Let me see if I can get my camera close enough. And it has it's going to close in 11 minutes, it says. So I'm going to go through the instructions and go ahead and program this, because I really don't know what each things are. So I'm sure I'll have to set the time on it or whatever. So we'll go from there. So I just started going through the menu, and if you press and hold the OK button for 3 seconds, it'll automatically open and close. So it's pretty quiet. It moves pretty freely. So I'm going to go through all this and figure out how to program it. I really just am going to run it on daylight till dark. So I'm just going to read through and see that anyways. Probably have to just find out how to set the time, which is right here on 51 time mode, so setting the time. So I'll go through and do all that right now, and then go from there. I just went through all the timer settings, and it's horrible. I mean, you can't go up and down in the time. You have to go through the whole 24-hour time clock, and the hours are up and down. You have to go through everything, and if you miss it, then you gotta go through it again. I'm going to look at this a little bit more to see if I can program it a little bit different, but I don't know. The controls were easy once you figured it out, but it could have been done a lot better. And maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so. So I'll just go through these again, and then I'll give another how I feel about it later when I finish this video. Been sitting on this footage of my chicken door opener for almost a year now. The video's been done. I just been kind of waiting to do like a follow-up, because I just didn't want to put a video out there saying that this product's great until I actually had a chance to test it. I mean, because you don't want to buy, a $200 chicken door just for it to not work right. This has been the best thing I've ever done, because one, I don't have to get home early to put the chickens up, then go back out. I don't have to be at home to let them out in the morning. I have used this literally for a little over a year, and it says you have to change the batteries every 6 to 8 months. I still have not changed the batteries. I'm sitting about 75% battery life left on them. And it's amazing. Don't have to worry about it. I have it to where it has the sensor in the front. It opens and closes as the sun sets or the sun goes in. What more could you ask for? I would highly recommend getting this door if you have chickens. There's a bunch of other ones out there, but the build quality and the ease of use of this one I really like. Now, what I didn't like about it, the controller is kind of cumbersome. To change the batteries, you actually have to pull the controller out to change the batteries, which I haven't had to do since I put the first ones in. But going through the settings of stuff, you have to go. There's no easy way to go back to zero or however you're doing it. It's kind of cumbersome to go through their menu, but once you do it a couple times, it's not that difficult. Other than that, I absolutely love it. My chickens love it. They come in and go as they want. They can still use the door because it stays open all day. Then when it closes, it's done. They're in there. They're secure. I have had one mishap with it, and that was my fault. It got really cold here. There was some snow and mud on it, and the door couldn't run the track. So every week or 2 weeks, I just go out there, I wipe the track down. I haven't had a problem since. So that was neglect on my side for not checking it, because chickens are dirty. They track everything everywhere. So I would recommend this if you want it. Go buy it. It made a world of difference in our lives not having to get home to take care of our chickens or put them up. So until next time, I'll see you later.